So a lot of people who start doing art, they have a question. What the fuck's a shadow? I teach it. These are the properties, right, of a shadow. Excuse my shit handwriting. Well, you have highlights, you have halftone. Okay, I can't speak. Highlight, halftones, which is basically just like this entire like. So once we put everything in, but like this is kind of like the quote unquote like default value, the default color. So like, you know what I'm saying? So like it'd be gray, or like it'd be the in between, like the super light parts and the super dark parts, right? Then we got foreshadow. And then I think they call it a projected shadow or cast shadow. There we go. Cast shadow. Make sure I got everything. And then we have reflective light. And I'm a teach you what this is. Okay. So say we have like, pretend this is like a ball, right? And we're gonna have like a list of things. And the sun, or a light bulb or whatever is right here. This is why in like art classes, they'll like have a bunch of like objects. And then they're like blah, 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 blah. And then they'll have like a light bulb, right? Right here. So then you can practice like the rendering of like a form. And this is normally how people, like this is like the foundation, right? Like of how people will want to like render stuff. Depending on like what style they're going for, you know. So this is kind of like how you start off normally. So highlight is going to be the highest, the like lightest part of something. So like if you think about it, the light's going like this way, right? And you go shh, and it's like the light sun rays, and then like what's like that what surfaces are going to be needing that really high contrast of light, right? It's probably going to be like the one that's facing us, right? And if it's a sphere, it's going to slowly gradient out, which is why it's a little bit easier to work with than like a triangle or something. I mean, we can do triangles too. I did do stuff like that. But everyone starts off kind of with a sphere, so you kind of get it, you know? Yeah. That's what we do now. Then I like to do like the shadows. The shadows are the darkest part, you know? You always want to kind of get like this, right? And then what you do, so this is the foreshadow. And what foreshadows are? Right here, this is foreshadow. You can't read it. Because you can't read it. Foreshadow. The foreshadow are the shadowy parts that are on the object. You know what I'm saying? And then the cast shadow is the shadow stuff that happens after that. So anything that's like not on it. So normally if we're like, right, so sunlight thing, and this is the cast shadow, because it's the light is casting like a thing on it. And since this is like, we're trying to make it look like a physical form of something, you know what I'm saying? Like this is how we would do it. We give it a shadow and stuff, so it's like, oh, it's in the world, it's doing stuff, you know what I'm saying? And then, here's the fun. And then we have halftones. Halftones are basically like the in-between when they're going to like, where it's like going from the light to the shadow, and you kind of want that transition, depending on what it is, right? You want like a transition period, kind of, for like around our surface. So what I'm gonna do, make it like right in the middle here, and then we just do this. And then we're just gonna blend it out a little bit, you know, because this is a sphere. So for some objects, like say like a triangle, you might not have like the gradient here, right? So if this is like a triangle, or a pyramid, excuse me. Okay, I did this a little bit, but like there. Wait a minute. And like that. Okay, this is just approximation, right? And so we had the same situation with like a triangle or something. All of one side would be like this, right? All of that would be like a highlight, basically, because it's just one face. It's just one face of it, right? And then, so there wouldn't really be like this would technically like a middle, but it kind of depends, right? Like on the angle and everything. So this is gonna be like dark, right? And already, and you see, like right now, it's already looking like a Gaussian form and Gaussian shape. Now, depending on the like, and this will always, so this is just the start of it, right? But depending on the intensity of the light, we can honestly go crazier straight up. See, now look at that. Beautiful. the shadow normally is not going to be like, it depends, right? Okay, everything depends. But this might be the darkest part, but this will definitely be like the darker part. Because sometimes what people will do, if they do draw this, they'll draw like a pyramid like this, kind of, right? Okay, well, give me a second. It's been a second, okay, it's hard. And this is not like a great pyramid, okay? I'm sorry, Egypt. Okay, okay, well, okay. I'm close, okay. Okay, something, so it's like 3D, right? So you're like, man, that kind of just looks like the Chevy symbol, whatever, right? And you're correct, except I'm gonna choose it right now. Are you ready? We're gonna pick color. So if we have the same situation again, we had light here, you know, bad that big lightest side right now, because that's where all of that light is hitting, right? But then there is like this solid like that's stopping the light from going somewhere else, right? That's where we put in our second tone light, or our second tone, the half tone, right? And if this was like the bottom of it and this was above it, right? What we would do, and then this is the darker part. Boom. And you see there? And then it gives the illusion that the square is like, the triangle is like, you know what I'm saying? It's all just in that shit, you know? And then you can kind of have it like, slightly darker sometimes, but you really want that contrast because the really like this and this really give it the form of the shape. You know, the illusion. Now we're gonna go back to our circle here. What happens if we blend this bitch out, right? I need to like clean up my Clip Studio Paint shit because I won't lie, like it's been like a hot ass minute and like super dark. Because we don't gotta go super deep on this. We really don't have to. I tend to do that though because I have a heavy hand. I don't need to be just kind of like blend it out. It's not gonna be perfect, and you shouldn't expect your stuff to be perfect. It's also gonna be like don't feel bad. I have a heavy hand. Like not in the way, right? It's going to be hitting it, right? So any reflective light or any light that gets across here, physics. So especially because normally if we're doing this, it's on hard surface, right? So it's kind of like, right? So all of that light is going to bounce back onto the object right here, right? And so that's where you get this highlight. And this is, you see, this is the key. This is like what a lot of artists will do, and then like that really, it really levels up how like the physics of this object is interacting with the world. Because now, do you see it? Do you see like how like it's just like it's juiced, right? It's beautiful. But yeah, that's how you like do some lights and some shadows, and that's the core of a light. You know? I hope it helped.